So I will be showing us the code first. Let me open the terminal and then we just see here's our code. I'll briefly introducing you the introduction part and the creation part. So here you can see our the function of showing introduction. This is all the commands that a user can input. As you can see, they can input creation and then space and then with the portfolio name, which will create a new portfolio. And also they could add stock to their chosen portfolio by entering add space portfolio name, which means adding to specific portfolio. And then the stock symbol, for example, if you're adding Apple, you can type AAPL and then space. And then the start date and the end date is the time period that you want to add. For example, if you want 5 days from January the 1st to January the 5th, you can enter to 2023 hyphen 1 and then the end date would be 2023 1 and then -5. And then we also have remove, which is to remove an already added stock symbol from the chosen portfolio. And then we also can display, which means that we have two kinds of display. If you only enter display without adding anything else, it will only display the portfolio lists that you can see. For example, if you have totally 3 portfolios in your portfolio list, if you type display, it will display the 3 names of the portfolio. And then also if you enter exit, you will exit the program safely. So we also have a hint that if you are using this program for the first time, you should create a portfolio first so that they can prevent the error message. So the second one is the initialize DB, which is the which will be called automatically the first time you run this program. This will create a portfolio list database table without noticing the user, so it will be created silently. And then also we have display. Here, if you enter all, it will show all the portfolio names, and if you enter display space and then with the table name, it will show the details of that chosen portfolio. So let me show you how to run this. We call the Python script first. And then it will automatically show the instructions and also one portfolio list is already created without noticing the user. So I will briefly show you how to create a portfolio. Be aware that you also have to take these 2 hyphens because we're using parse. Create, let's say portfolio 1. Will show you a portfolio with the name portfolio 1 already exists. Oh, that's because I already created one called portfolio name before. So let's create, let's say, my portfolio. Okay, it will show you that my portfolio with required variables is created. And then we create another one called, let's say, your portfolio. It's also successfully created. So for now, we have 2 portfolios. To see your list of portfolios that you can see the details, you just type display. Oh yeah, because I already created 2 before. you can see that we have the list of all the portfolios we have for now and with their time created. And this is the list. And if you want to see the detail of one specific portfolio, you can put, let's say, my portfolio. It's empty for now, so it will not show anything, but a message called no data found for portfolio, my portfolio. But so yeah, if you already enter something into your portfolio, it will show the message. So that's the creation and the display part.
So this is our program. It's already running on my virtual machine. And in our stock portfolio management system, the display functionality is responsible for presenting users with portfolio information stored in the SQLite database. I'm going to show how it works, how the display functionality works. So first, I need to create a database. Another database, a table, create a portfolio table A, and it's created. So now I'm going to display A. No data found for portfolio A. I'm going to display all the portfolios tables. I only have A, which I just created. If I display another table, I got a message saying portfolio S does not exist. And if I add a row to A, loading data. Okay, now we got the data. Let's display A again. Here it is. So let's look at the scripts for the display part. First, we have two conditions here. The first one is display all. And the second one is display a table. For display all, it allows user to see all the portfolio tables because we have all the metadata of portfolio tables in another table called portfolio, which stores all the portfolio tables info. And yeah, this is the first command. So if the users doesn't put any table name there, like just a single display, like leave it blank, then it's gonna be display all. In the second one, if the user input a table name like display A, table A, it's gonna execute this part. You're gonna fetch the data from the table. And there are also multiple situations here. The first one is if the portfolio table exists. You're gonna show the data. And if the table doesn't exist, the user gonna get a message saying that portfolio does not exist, just like what I showed earlier. And in this part, even though the portfolio exists, it also contains two different situations. The first one is it contains data, and the second one is there's no data in the table. So if there's no data, yeah, if it is empty, we're gonna get this notification saying no data found for portfolio, the table name. And if it is not empty, it has data, then we're gonna see the data. Yeah, so this is how the display functionality works. That's it for my part. Thank you.
Hi, so my part of code is the adding part and the removing part for certain stock data, certain portfolio. Let's start from the coding. So here is the adding part. So in this part, user can enter their portfolio names and the stock data state that they want to fetch to add certain stock data into certain portfolio. So first of all, take the user's input, the portfolio names, stock symbol, start date and end date. So in the first steps, you'll first check if the portfolio exists. If the portfolio does not exist, it will pop up this print out this message. Says the portfolio does not exist. If it does exist, it will try to fetch the stock by stock symbol, start date, and end date by calling this fetch stock data function that we're going to talk about this later. And there's another check, checking if the stock data is none or not. If it is none, which means we're failed to fetch data. So maybe the stock does not exist, or the start date end date is wrong, or user's input is wrong. So it will pop up this this message. And if the stock data does exist, it will do a bit of a data manipulations and try to add the data, insert the data into the portfolio table by executing this SQL code. And this is remove. We're going to talk about this later. Let's finish adding. So in here we call a functions called fetch stock data. This function is basically fetching the stock data and do a little bit data processing, data cleaning. So this function takes the user's input, the stock symbol, start date, and end date. It will print out a loading message because the fetching process does takes a bit of time. And here we use the Wi-Fi API to fetch the certain stock in a certain time period. So we also have a check, checking if the data exists. So if the user enters something that does not exist, let's say a wrong stock, a stock that does not exist, it will pops up this message, tell users that you need to check your input. If the data does exist, we'll start processing the data. In this part, we do a bit of a data cleaning and data processing. Here's the cleaning the missing data, and these two are just calculating the moving average and momentum indicator. This is the data cleaning functions. So I use both backward and forward filling. If it's just a normal case, we use forward filling. So basically, if today's stock price is missing, we use the previous day's data. But if there is a special situations like there is a first date that there is no previous date. So if the missing data is in the first date, we're going to use the backward filling. So we fill with the data of next date. And this is moving average calculations, and this is the momentum indicators calculation. And let's talk about the remove part. Remove part is simply it's simple. So it will check if it will first check if the portfolio exists, and also checking the stock symbol, if the stock symbol exists, and if both of the conditions are satisfied, it will execute deletion, and then it will remove certain stock from certain portfolio. And let's try to run this code. So this is just basically the instructions. So here we have two existing portfolios. One is named Eric, one is named Hello. So from now then, so now the this Eric portfolio does not have any data. So let's try to add some data. Eric portfolio's name and Apple, the stock name, and the period of time. It's loading. And we have the data here with symbol, date, all this stock price, and this is the data after we process. So we have the 10 days moving average and 30 days momentum indicator adding to our portfolio. So now we have the stock data in the Eric's portfolio. Let's try to add another one. Right, the data is. Now you can see we have the Apple stock data, and also we have the Tesla stock data with their moving average and momentum indicator. And we can try to remove. Let's try adding something that's not exist. So let's say I'm adding Apple into a adding Apple to a portfolio that does not exist. It says the portfolio does not exist. If we are adding a stock that does not exist, it was just that we failed to fetch the data because the stock does not exist. And if we have some input problem, let's say we just adding something random, it pops up that your input error, so your input, your command line that you are enter is wrong. So you need to check your enter your input again. And let's try to remove. So now we have Apple and Tesla in Eric's portfolio. Let's remove something that does not exist. Let's say we remove something, a stock that does not exist in our portfolio. It was just this stock is not exist in our portfolio. If we try to remove a non-exist portfolio versus the portfolio, there's no such table. And let's remove. Let's remove Apple from Eric. Okay, let's check out. And here you can see it's all Tesla data. There's no Apple. There's no Apple. And let's also remove Tesla. And then there's no data.